Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Had Rip. In today's episode, we're going to discuss how to master the basics of surfing. We're going to do that with my friend Brad, who's been surfing for about 15 years, but he only surfs about once or twice a year. So I would say that he's at an advanced beginner level, pushing the intermediate level. And so we're going to have a look at what he does when he goes surfing, some areas that he wants to improve on, and some key points that he thinks you should know to help master the basics. But before we go any further, I just want to say that right now, Australia is facing a massive bushfire crisis, and if you feel like you want to help from wherever you are in the world, there are many fundraising opportunities that are taking place. So I would encourage you, if you want to donate, to please do so and help those who really need it. So to start with, let's establish what the basic skills of surfing are and some basic things we need to know. Number one is knowing what board and equipment that you need to use to make the most out of your session.
So the boards that I've found over the past 2 years that have suited me are probably a few inches taller than I am, but very thick, so very buoyant. Because I sort of want to be able to like turn and eventually like do some little tricks like cutbacks and things like that. So a shorter board, but more buoyant. The buoyancy because it's easier to get around. It's easy to paddle. You're getting on top of waves a bit better, and the board is a bit more forgiving when you're like trying to take off, or trying to surf down the face of the wave. It gives you the ability to make mistakes and not get punished for it. And if you have a good wetsuit or you have the right wetsuit for the conditions, then you're not going to be thinking about being cold. Thinking about what you need to personally improve on. Having the right board allows you to execute the skills you want to do.
Secondly, we're going to talk about paddling and how to have the best paddling position possible to catch the most waves possible, which is going to help you improve the fastest.
One thing I personally need to work on is my thoracic mobility. So this guy, he's like got a real straight back. It's almost like a bit of a banana shape. So he's like really high, like his chest is up off the board, and he can generate a lot of power because that's like the most efficient sort of position for your back to be in. Where I'm like really rounded in the shoulders. I do a lot of pushing and not enough pulling, so my back is like the weak part of my body. And a result of that is I'm lower on the board and it's harder for me to generate power when I'm paddling. So right now, I'm probably working 1.5 times harder than Ryan is, purely because I'm not in a good position. So these are things that I could be working on when I'm not in the water, or like if the surf isn't ideal and you decide not to go out. These are the sort of things that can improve your surfing by not actually surfing. And one of the bad thing is because I'm so much lower, I can't actually see as much as Ryan. He's like up, he's looking, he's alert, which is improving his ability to get on a wave quicker.
We're also going to discuss how to master the takeoff and also how to start turning your board.
Try to get on this wave like really early, so I'm going through my checklist. Same thing, balance, yep. Now I just want to pop up as fast as I can. So I'm getting up, I'm getting a little bit fatigued at this point. So I'm sort of slipping around, my feet aren't going exactly where I want them to go, and that sort of starts playing on my mind. So now I'm thinking, all right, what did I do wrong? All right, so it's my foot placement. All right, I really need to concentrate on getting a big push up off the board and then just getting settled and then trying to ride the wave. So I recovered, but I was a bit frustrated because the wave was already gone. Here, I wasn't pointing where I was going, and I'm looking straight. So ideally, if you want to go across the wave, you need to be looking that way, and then have your hands up. So I was just looking into no man's land pretty much, and that's where I went. So as a result of that, I finally looked up, and then the board started, it's already turning, so it's basically like a delayed response, because that's the way my body was sort of going. And now I've just lost my balance, and I'm all torqued up there, so my shoulders are going the opposite way to the board, and I've just completely lost my balance. And that's just the only thing I could do to recover it.
We're going to discuss goal setting. Brad calls it his personal checklist. Now every surfer does this, and athletes from any sport also have little cues that they say to themselves when they're out there performing. So we're going to discuss that and what cues you can have to help you.
The first one would definitely be have fun. The second one would just be just focus on the small things, just the 1%ers. So I have my personal checklist, so wave selection, just choose a wave, and if you're going to take that wave, just commit to it. Make sure you're balanced on the board, make sure you're paddling, you've got a big powerful stroke. When you're on the wave, just think about getting up. So big powerful push off the board, get your feet right. Once you've done that, then alright, yep, I'm going to go left. Alright, what do I need to do? I need to point, look, and do all those sort of actions. So all these little 1%ers is what a professional surfer would do, but they're just doing it subconsciously. So because I'm just learning, they're like conscious, and I have to think about it. So things I need to work on is probably like over-exaggerated body movement. So if I want to go along the face of the wave, like I need to like over-exaggerate where I want to go. So over-exaggerate going down the face, and then just being a bit more patient with my turns, letting the board, sort of like riding the wave, a bit more like fluid, instead of just like trying to fight against the wave, is probably a nice way to explain it. Come from a skateboarding perspective, you're just trying to like turn sharply sometimes and having heaps of control, but surfing's a bit more fluid, and you're just sort of out there with nature and just riding the wave and having a bit of fun.
We're going to discuss wave selection and improve our knowledge of what waves are best for us, and that depends on what level we're actually at.
So waves that haven't broken, and like waves that I can see that I can go in a direction. So I don't want a wave that's just all of it's breaking at the same time. I want a part of it to break, so then I can actually ride the face, because that's the funnest part, right? You want to try and get in the barrel and have a bit of fun that way, opposed to just riding the white water. But that's a progression thing as well. So start off, I used to just ride the white water, then wave selection sort of comes into it. Yep, I'm a goofy footer, so I want to go left. I want to be facing the wave, so I prioritise that. But I'm happy going right as well. So I'm paddling along, I'm like, really want to get this wave. I'm like, yep, this is me. And there, the back of the wave has picked me up. So I was coming in on an angle, and they'll just try to straighten up at the last minute, and the waves just pick me up and just push me down. So I'm just trying to paddle, and then I've just lost it. So you want to get on the wave, and that's a priority. And then as you get better, you want to get in the perfect spot for the wave. So right now, this would probably be the perfect spot. Like you'd want to be up and surfing already. So you have all of this part of the wave to play with. But I'm just happy just getting up and riding across the face. So I've committed to this wave, doing my checklist, trying to get up early, and that was a better takeoff.
We're also going to have a look at duck diving and how important it is, and how Brad managed to duck dive this 6'8" board, which has a lot of volume.
So I'm just sitting there, I'm looking, sort of evaluating where I want to duck dive. So you want to try and get the wave before it breaks. So you want to sort of go like now or after it's completely broken. Because if you're in that in-between phase, that's sort of where the wave has like the most sort of power because it's like tipping over itself. So I'm getting down, I realise I have to duck dive, so I'm pushing down with my arms. The wave's already broken, and I'm putting either my knee, if I want to just do a little one, or if I really want to try and go deep, I'm putting my foot on the foot pad of the board, so it's a bit of a touch point that I have for myself. So by touch point, I mean every time I put my foot, I feel for the foot pad, so I know exactly where it is on the board. So you're just pushing down, trying to get the nose down as deep as you can. One thing I probably should have done is generated a bit of speed. So you want to get a bit of momentum to go across and then down under the wave, as opposed to just stopping and going under the wave. So I'm just pushing down, and then as the wave's going over me, I'm sort of pulling myself towards the board almost. So I'm going down, pulling myself towards the board to try and get as far under the wave as I possibly can. That's pretty much it. Just got in, happy, smile on my face, just getting out there and just enjoying being out in the water.
Guys, thanks for watching the video today. I hope that now you understand how you can master the basics of surfing and you understand what those basic skills are. Remember to like the video, subscribe to our channel and comment below to let us know what other things you'd like us to talk about. Something like this one.
On the wave, then looking